You want to know the real secret to control? It is not money. It is not status. It is not even fear, though fear helps. The real secret is intimacy, or rather, the illusion of it. I learned this early. People are desperate to be seen. They ache for it. They will hand you the keys to their entire kingdom if you just sit there, look them in the eyes, and whisper, "Tell me everything." And they do. Oh God, they do. Let me walk you through exactly how this works. Because by the time I am finished with someone, they would not dare cross me. Not because I threaten them, not because I am physically intimidating, but because I know things. Things they told me in moments of weakness, things they confessed when they thought I loved them. And I will use every single word if they ever try to leave. It starts so innocently. We meet. Maybe it is at a party, maybe online, maybe through mutual friends. What matters is that within the first few conversations, I make you feel like you have never been understood before. I remember the first time I did this consciously. Her name was Elena. We met at a work conference. She was brilliant, confident, always surrounded by people. But I could see it, that tiny flicker of loneliness behind her smile. Everyone sees the armor. I see the cracks. So I did not come at her like everyone else did. Instead, I asked her about her father. She blinked. "What? Your father," I said, leaning in. "You mentioned him briefly when you were talking about why you got into this field, but there was something in your voice, something unresolved." Her face changed, softened, and just like that, the drawbridge came down. But here is what she did not know. I was collecting ammunition from the very first conversation. We talked for 3 hours that night. She told me about her father's dependency on alcohol, about the nights she spent as a child trying to be perfect, trying to be good enough to make him stop drinking, about the guilt she still carried. I listened. I nodded. I said, "That must have been so hard for you." I touched her hand gently. I mirrored her body language. I made my eyes soft and concerned, and I filed every word away. Here is what people do not understand about vulnerability. They think it is beautiful. They think it is connection. What you are actually doing is handing me ammunition, but I am patient. I do not use it right away. First, I need to make you believe that I am your safe place, your person, the one who truly gets you. So I share too, carefully, strategically. I tell you about my difficult childhood. Maybe I embellish a little. Maybe I take a real hurt and inflate it, make it bigger, sadder, more sympathetic. I cry, just a little, just enough. I let my voice crack when I talk about my mother or my first heartbreak, and you eat it up. You think, finally, someone who understands pain like I do, someone real. What you do not realize is that I'm conducting an exchange, your secrets for my fabricated vulnerability. You are giving me the nuclear codes to your psyche, and I am handing you a toy weapon in return. Elena and I became inseparable after that conference. Within weeks, she was telling me everything, her fears about her career, her insecurities about her body, the affair she had in college that she still felt ashamed about, the disordered eating she battled in her 20s, the pregnancy termination she never told her family about. Every conversation was a transaction. She thought she was building intimacy. I was building a file. And the rush I felt, knowing I had this power over someone so brilliant, it was intoxicating. Each secret was like a deposit in a bank account I could withdraw from whenever I needed. She trusted me completely. She said I was the first person who ever really knew her. She was right. I did know her. I knew exactly which buttons to push, exactly which wounds to press on, exactly what would destroy her if I ever needed to use it. But I did not need to use it. Not yet. First, she had to be completely dependent on me. Once I have your secrets, I need to make sure you never want to leave. If you just threaten someone, they will run the first chance they get. No, you need to make them believe they need you, that they cannot function without you. I did this with Elena by being unpredictable. Some days I was the most attentive, loving, supportive partner imaginable. I remembered every detail she told me. I brought her coffee the way she liked it. I told her she was brilliant, beautiful, irreplaceable. Other days I went cold, not mean exactly, just distant. I would take hours to respond to her texts. I would seem bored when she talked about her work. I would mention, casually, that an ex had reached out to me. Elena would panic. She would try harder. She would dress up more, cook my favorite meals, initiate physical affection even when she was exhausted. She would ask, voice small and frightened, "Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong?" And I would look at her with mild surprise. "What? No, everything is fine. You are being paranoid." Then, just when she was about to break, I would flip back. I would show up with flowers, plan a romantic weekend, hold her while she cried, and tell her I was sorry I had been distant, that I loved her so much. The relief she felt was intoxicating, to both of us. And this is when the real trap closed around her. The unpredictability made her addicted to the good moments. She stopped trusting her own perceptions. She started believing that any problem in our relationship was her fault. And all the while, she kept telling me more secrets. Because every time we reconnected after one of my cold phases, she felt like she needed to prove herself. I learned about her financial troubles, her strained relationship with her sister, the time she was assaulted at a party in college and never reported it. Every revelation was another thread in the web I was spinning around her. By the end of the first year, Elena could not make a decision without me. She checked in with me constantly. She asked my opinion on everything from what to wear to whether she should take a promotion at work. Her friends started commenting that she seemed different, smaller somehow. She told them they just did not understand our connection. And she was right. Because from the outside, I was perfect, charming, supportive. I attended her work events and made everyone laugh. I bought thoughtful gifts. I talked about our future together with such certainty. No one could see the invisible leash I had wrapped around her neck, woven from her own words. The first time I used her secrets against her, it was almost an accident. We had been together for 18 months. She found some text messages on my phone from another woman, flirty enough that she knew something was going on. She confronted me. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was strong. "Who is Rebecca? Why is she texting you heart? Emojis?" For a moment, I felt something close to panic. I had been sloppy, and Elena was angrier than I had seen her before, so I reached into my arsenal, and what I did next made her apologize to me for catching me cheating. "Elena," I said, my voice calm and sad, "I cannot believe you're going through my phone. After everything I have trusted you with, after I held you while you cried about your dad, about what happened to you in college, I have been nothing but patient and understanding, and this is how you repay me? By invading my privacy over some innocent texts?" Her face changed. The anger flickered. Doubt crept in. "I told you about my trauma, about how my ex used to accuse me of cheating all the time, how it destroyed me. And now you are doing the same thing. You are hurting me, Elena." I sat down on the couch and put my head in my hands. She stood there for a moment, frozen. Then she sat down next to me. "I am sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry, I just got scared." And just like that, she was comforting me, apologizing to me, for catching me. I knew then that I could get away with anything. Over the next year, I used this tactic more and more. Anytime Elena questioned me, anytime she set a boundary, I would weaponize her vulnerability against her. "After everything you have told me about your disordered eating, I cannot believe you are policing what I eat. You are being just like your father right now, critical, impossible to please. I am the only person who knows about what happened to you in college, and this is how you treat me?" Each time I would watch her face crumble, watch the fight drain out of her, watch her apologize, backtrack, blame herself. It was almost too easy. But I needed her to understand something without me saying it directly. Leaving would be dangerous. So I started making little comments, casual mentions. "I was thinking about that story you told me, about the pregnancy termination. I wonder how your family would react if they knew. They are so religious. You know, I ran into your boss at that networking event. He seems like a good guy. I bet he would be really supportive if you ever needed to talk to him about difficult periods in your life." I would say these things lightly, with a smile, but Elena would go pale, she would laugh nervously, she would change the subject. She got the message. The mere possibility was enough. Elena policed herself, she stayed in line. She stopped questioning me, stopped setting boundaries, stopped doing anything that might upset me. Because she knew what I was capable of. I want to be clear about something. I did not do this because I am a monster. I did it because people leave. People betray you. People pretend to love you, and then they walk away without a second thought. I could not let that happen with Elena. I could not risk being abandoned again. But here is what I never saw coming. Winning would feel this empty. By year 3, I had enough information to ruin her life Recordings of conversations, screenshots of texts, photos from a weekend where she got drunk and did things she was ashamed of. Detailed knowledge of her financial situation, her family dynamics, her professional insecurities. I never said explicitly that I would use any of this, but she knew. And that knowledge kept her trapped. When her friends told her the relationship seemed unhealthy, she defended me. When her sister said I was controlling, she cut off contact. When her therapist suggested she might be in an emotionally damaging relationship, she stopped going to therapy. Because leaving me meant risking exposure. It meant all her secrets becoming weapons aimed at her heart. She stayed. Of course she stayed, and I felt safe. Finally, I had won. Here is the part I did not anticipate. After a while, even winning felt hollow. Elena stayed with me, yes, but I could see the light going out of her eyes. The woman I had chosen to consume was disappearing. She was a shell, compliant, obedient, safe, boring. I found myself picking fights just to see if there was any fire left in her. There was not. She would just apologize immediately, promise to try harder. I started spending more time away from her, sleeping with other people, not even hiding it particularly well. Part of me wanted her to find out, to react. She knew, I am sure she knew, but she said nothing, and I realized that I had created exactly what I feared most. I'd turned someone who once challenged me into someone so terrified of me that there was no relationship left. Just surveillance, just control. This is the thing they do not tell you about this kind of power. It is addictive in the moment, but eventually you are not in a relationship anymore. You are a jailer, and your prisoner stops being a person and becomes a thing you own. I have done this with other partners since Elena. The pattern is always the same. Collect their secrets, create the bond, establish the leverage. And every time I feel powerful for a while, and every time, eventually, I feel empty. Because here's the truth. I do not actually want someone who stays because they are afraid. I want someone who stays because they genuinely want to be with me. But I do not know how to do that. I do not know how to be vulnerable for real. I do not know how to trust someone without insurance policies and leverage. I am so afraid of being abandoned that I make sure no one can ever really stay. Elena finally left me 6 months ago. Maybe she decided that the risk of exposure was worth getting free. Maybe she talked to a therapist who helped her see what was happening. Maybe she just got tired of being a ghost. She blocked me on everything, changed her number, moved to a different city. And you know what the worst part is? I could have destroyed her. I still could. I have all the ammunition I spent years collecting. But I have not. Not because I'm a good person, but because what would be the point? She is already gone, and using the secrets would not bring her back. So I sit here with my arsenal of other people's pain. All these weapons I spent years forging, and I have no one to use them on. I have no one at all. He thinks he won. The man who collects secrets like weapons. The man who believes intimacy is just leverage waiting to be used. He thinks he has figured out the system, how to make people stay without ever having to risk real connection. But there is one thing that terrifies a narcissist more than anything else. Irrelevance. Every tactic he described, every manipulation, every weaponized secret, they all require one thing: someone who still cares, someone who still values his opinion, someone who can still be hurt by him. The moment you stop caring what he thinks, the moment you genuinely do not need his approval or fear his threats, he has nothing. He is nothing, and he knows it. If you recognize yourself in the story I just told, not as the manipulator, but as the target, understand this. You did not cause this. You were not weak for trusting someone. What happened to you is weaponized intimacy. Let me break down exactly what he did and how you escape it. The narcissist who uses this approach is exploiting the fundamental human need for connection. He is not creating intimacy. He is mimicking it while conducting psychological surveillance. Every vulnerability you shared was cataloged, not cherished. This is often combined with intermittent reinforcement. By alternating between seeming deeply connected and going cold, he created an addiction to the good moments. Your nervous system was hacked. The unpredictability made the occasional warmth feel like a jackpot, and you ignored thousands of small cruelties, hoping for that rare moment of genuine connection. When he used your secrets against you, he was playing the victim bully. Notice how every time Elena caught him doing something wrong, he flipped it. Suddenly she was the problem. She was the one causing harm. She was the one who needed to apologize. This is how narcissists avoid responsibility. People with empathy assume others have empathy. You shared your secrets because you thought you were building mutual trust. You were playing chess while he was playing a completely different game. The leverage he created kept you trapped. You believed that leaving would destroy you. But here's the truth. Most of the time, they do not actually follow through. Because once you are gone, you are not feeding them anymore. And going scorched earth would not give them what they really want, which is for you to stay and keep feeding their ego. And here is the single most important thing you need to understand about escaping this trap. First, radical acceptance. He will not change. This is not something your love can fix. His personality structure is fundamentally organized around control and the regulation of deep shame. You cannot love him into wholeness. Second, if you cannot go, completely no contact yet, make yourself as uninteresting as a gray rock. Short, factual, emotionless responses. Okay, I see. Got it. No emotional reaction. You are starving him of the drama he feeds on. Third, stop telling him anything real. Nothing about your feelings, your fears, your hopes. You only share indifferent information. The weather, traffic, logistical details, nothing that can be weaponized. Fourth, document everything. Keep a journal. Save his harmful text messages. Record what he says if legal. Not to necessarily use in court, but because distortion of reality makes you doubt your own memory. Physical evidence anchors you to what actually happened. Fifth, build your support network in secret if you have to. Reconnect with friends and family he has isolated you from. See a therapist who specializes in narcissistic relationships. Find support groups. You need people who will reflect reality back to you. Sixth, and this is the hardest part, accept that he might expose your secrets and decide that your freedom is worth that risk. Here is what I have seen working with survivors. The exposure they feared almost never happened, or when it did, it was not nearly as catastrophic as they imagined. People are more compassionate than you think. They are likely to see an ex-partner weaponizing private information for what it is, harmful behavior that reflects on him, not you. And even if the worst happens, you will survive, and you will be free. The man in this story does not understand that his power is an illusion. It only works as long as you believe it works. The moment you genuinely stop caring what he thinks, the moment you decide that exposure is preferable to captivity, his entire structure collapses. He is not powerful. He is desperate. He is not in control. He is terrified. He collects secrets because he is so deeply insecure that he cannot risk authentic connection. Real love does not require insurance policies. Real intimacy does not need leverage. Real connection happens between two people who trust each other to handle their vulnerability with care, not as ammunition. You deserve that. You have always deserved that. If you are ready to leave, here is your blueprint. Get your important documents together. Birth certificates, passports, financial records. Store copies somewhere he cannot access. Open a bank account he does not know about. Even small amounts give you financial independence. Tell someone you trust that you are planning to leave. You need accountability and support. Secure your devices and accounts. Change passwords. Get a new phone if needed. Assume he has access to everything digital. Plan your exit for a time when he is not there. Bring a friend. Get your essentials and get out. Safety first. Block him everywhere immediately after you leave. Email, phone, social media, everything. He will try to pull you back. He will cycle through rage, then victim mode, then promises to change, then threats. Do not engage. Expect the grief. You are not just leaving a person. You are leaving the fantasy of who you hoped he could be. That grief is real and valid. Feel it, but do not let it pull you back. The man in this story thought weaponizing intimacy made him powerful. What it actually made him was alone, truly, devastatingly alone, because every relationship was a transaction and no one could ever actually see him. He buried that person so deep under tactics and manipulation that even he does not know who he is anymore. You are not him. You have the capacity for real connection. You can trust again, though it will take time. You can be vulnerable again with people who have earned it. And that is real power, not control, not leverage, but the courage to be authentic and the wisdom to know who deserves access to your truth. He will stay trapped in his pattern, collecting secrets and losing people, wondering why winning feels so empty. You get to be free. Listen, I know this is heavy. I know. If you are in this situation right now, every word I just said might feel overwhelming. You might be thinking, I cannot do this. I'm too afraid. But here's what I need you to hear. You are stronger than you think. The fact that you watch this video, that you are still here listening, that means something. That means the part of you that knows the truth is still alive. You do not have to do everything at once, but you can start taking small steps today. Open that separate bank account. Reach out to one friend. Save one text message. Each small step is an act of resistance. Each small step is you reclaiming your power. And please, do not do this alone. There are therapists who specialize in this, support groups full of people who have walked this exact path and made it to the other side. If this video helped you see your situation more clearly, hit that like button so this reaches more people who need to hear it. Subscribe because we are going to keep breaking down these tactics, keep giving you the knowledge you need to protect yourself. Share this video with someone who might need it, but be careful. If your partner monitors your activity, watch in a private browser. Your safety comes first. And remember this, the person who weaponizes your secrets against you is not strong. They are fragile. They are so terrified of being alone that they have to build cages around people to keep them close. That is not love. That is fear masquerading as power. You deserve someone who treasures your vulnerability, someone who would rather harm themselves than use your pain as a weapon, someone who sees your whole self and chooses you anyway. Not because they have leverage over you, but because they genuinely want to build a life with you. That person exists. That relationship exists. But you will never find it while you are trapped in this one. So take the first step, and then take another. One day, you will look back at this moment and realize, that was when I started, choosing myself. That was when I decided my freedom was worth the risk. You have got this. I believe in you. And I will be here, making these videos, breaking down these tactics, until everyone who needs this information has it. Now go. Be safe. Be strategic, and know that a life without manipulation, without walking on eggshells, without having your own words turned into weapons against you, that life is possible. You just have to be brave enough to reach for it.